Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Gary Smith, Clinic Director at the Chiropractic Neurology and Metabolism Center and Food Sensitivity Center here in Toledo. I'd like to talk today to you about food sensitivities and food intolerances. This is something that a lot of people have difficulty with. They get confused about the differences of these food reactions. Okay, guys, there are 50 million Americans with autoimmune diseases. It's an epidemic. This is very, very serious. We test for something called IgG, reactions to food. These are the delayed responses. This response will typically take anywhere from 12 hours to 3 days to show up symptoms. So, this is why a person might get a migraine headache 3 days after they've had some bread and butter. People will often um, uh, need an EpiPen for those type of things. And so they're more obvious. But when we test for the IgG, the delayed response, are for responses that you don't know you're having, and therefore your doctors won't know you're having, too, from the testing that they do. But this is a great need today. Let me show you an example of a printout or partial printout for food sensitivity. Here we see responses here. This individual had a lot of response to dairy, various dairy products here. Okay. And then we see another response to a couple things like egg white and egg yolk. Another one over here was gluten and wheat. Another one down here is peanuts, and the one down here is response to toxins related to yeast, such as candida. So what we're testing is about 400 different foods. We're testing 350 non-food allergens. We're also testing 50 nutritional deficiencies and 50 toxic metals. So we're testing a lot of things now in this test. Everyone reacts differently. Like my wife, she reacted to gluten real mildly and it affected her thyroid. She gained 15 pounds. And now she modified her diet. We gave her some things, and she's much better with that. So by this testing, we can take out a lot of the guesswork as to what foods are actually affecting people. So what are some of the conditions and symptoms regarding these sensitivities? Weight gain, weight resistance, weight loss resistance, digestive challenges such as bloating and nausea, leaky gut, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, fatigue, autoimmune diseases, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, behavioral disorders like ADHD, children reacting, becoming irritated by their food and having signs of irritability. There's problems like migraine, skin issues like rashes and eczema, and psoriasis is another autoimmune disease because of autoimmunity. Um, some of the other things that we want to look at is what has happened if the immune system keeps reacting, causing inflammation and reactions to keep if you keep eating these food? Well, you'll keep getting spikes of inflammation related to the immune responses. And if this is happening with several of the foods that you consume, you could be having some type of response daily. See? And so you're in a chronic state of inflammation. Well, throughout the whole body. That can affect the brain. That'll affect you in a way that'll lead to many of the chronic diseases that we experience today, just from a food or a few foods. You might have 400 foods or 395 foods that you're fine with, but 5 of them are common enough that you eat, and they're causing inflammation. And we have to sort through that and find them. When it affects the brain, you get things like irritability, and you get agitated, you get emotional problems, brain fog, loss of concentration, memory loss, difficulty learning, and ultimately brain degeneration over the years. Um, our food is sprayed with harmful chemicals, genetically modified processing, which causes food sensitivity. So you have a lot of inflammation from various changes in our food supply. Another thing is that these food sensitivities are very hard on the digestive system, and not just that, the immune system, which we talked about. Um, so in our clinic, we have a saying: we don't guess, we test. We can also test you to see if you're exhausting your reserves of nutrients like vitamins, amino acids, fatty acids, um, by doing nutritional testing at the same time. We don't test these 50 nutrients or food or 400 food sensitivities without an end in mind. Um, from there, we get you a master food list. We will get the proper nutrients that you need, and it's not a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter healthcare type of a plan. Not everyone is different. My brother, for example, he showed up with sensitivities to certain fruits and grapefruit, and he'd get all sorts around his mouth. I could see 3 or 4 people react. 3 out of 4 people reacting to dairy. 50% of people reacting to eggs. So the stresses to our digestive system, our immune system, causes this systemic inflammation that affects anything and everything in our body. Food sensitivities, it's different than food allergies, folks. So if you want to get tested, just give me a call for a free consultation. Have a great day. Talk to you later.